What's going on, guys, and welcome to another FIFA 22 video. Today we are going to make a huge investment and buy a load of fodder. And the reason for that is because a lot of prices are low at the moment, and I feel like this week there should be some kind of big SBC. It's obviously Champions League night, Tuesday and Wednesday, and so potentially EA will be releasing a lot of well, not a lot, but potentially an SBC for a really good player that potentially people will want, which means fodder will, expected to rise. And there's been a lot of packs in the game at the moment, which means fodder is kind of at an all-time low. So 86 and 87s I feel like are the best sort of place to go, because there's a lot of room for them to rise. And so because of that, we are looking at players like Sancho, we're looking at players like Kingsley Coman. So we're going to try and pick all these Sanchos up here at 18.5. Now this is a big risk, but he can potentially rise up to around, 28, I would say, 26, 27, 28, depending on if the right SBC comes out. So we're going to risk all of our coins into this. Now, I don't think he can go much lower than 18k because of the amount of content that EA release. And I will be checking at 6 p.m. if there's an option to sell. If there's not, I will be keeping him in my unassigned. But if you look at Sancho here, for example, his highest buy now he can sell for is 35k. So you've got a nice kind of price range there for him to potentially go up. I will probably buy all of them up until around 19k, and then I'll move on to another player. Reason I think Sancho's a nice one is because he is obviously Premier League, he's English, and there's a fair amount of him in the market for a price I'm happy to pay. I'm not going to go above 19k. I think it's stupid to, especially with obviously the amount of packs that are being released. Now maybe I should have waited and picked these up at 6 p.m, but should an SBC come, then obviously his price will go up, and then I won't make as much coins as I would have wanted to. Now this is more of a test video to keep, so obviously I'm recording this on Tuesday at 5 o'clock, so obviously I've seen the prices are low, I'm going to invest, and I feel like there's a fair few people probably doing the same because fodder is extremely low. Now if you don't know how to check how much prices are, there is a tab on Footbin where you can actually see the current prices of rated cards, certain rated cards, whether it's an 85, 86, 87. You can look at them and see the price ranges of each player and also see the current price that they're selling at. So just like that, I've already invested 700k into Jadon Sancho. That was easy enough, right? Now we're going to move on to another player now, because we don't want just having him. I'm going to look at an 86 rated player, and he is going to be, who did we go for? Is Verratti 86 or is he 87 this year? I can't actually think. Verratti's 87. We'll pick some Verratti's up. I'm going to try and get him for about 18.5 again. He might be a bit lower than that. Because obviously Liga aren't as popular. No, he's about the same as Sancho is, so we'll go and get him as well. Centre mid's obviously always good. Has really good links to some high rated cards, including like Ramos and players like that. So we're going to do that as well. I feel like 87s, 86s are kind of in the range of where they do, from what I've seen through trends and things like that, they do tend to rise most in terms of some of the fodder prices. And then obviously the high rated ones like the 91 rated, like Oblaks and stuff like that. But obviously you can't invest as much into them because obviously they're a higher price. So depending on your coin range, it won't be as good. Now, I know this video, there might be some content that comes out today that makes these prices go up, and I'll release this video and you'll be like, well, I've learned nothing from that because I couldn't do that method, you released it too late. Well, I understand that, of course, but when you see these cars back at this price again, then obviously you can go and pick them up again and know that just hold on to them until an SBC comes out, and then boom, you're going to be able to make your profit. So I really do feel like sometimes it can be quite good to do this. Obviously there is always a slight risk that they go down a little bit more and you end up losing some coins in them, but that's the whole part of it. It's an option to make coins as well as lose coins. So just make sure you're maybe it's best not to do as many as I have. Just pick up a few if you're a bit wary of this. But I feel like EA at the moment haven't released anything much this week. and it's not only a matter of time until they start doing stuff again, whether it's a player SBC or really good card that comes out, or icon SBC or hero SBC, and then these cards are again needed again. So I'm now going to look at let's think here. Do you know what? The best, I'm not 100% sure, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put in buy now of around 13k and minimum buy now at 13k and buy now at 20k, and see what comes up here and see who looks good to kind of go for. So Coman's probably an option there at 86 rated. I kind of like to go for like centre back or Chiellini there. Yeah, Chiellini might be quite a nice one because he's Italian. Obviously, some nice links to him with Bonucci and things like that. So for chemistry reasons, he's a nice one to get. So potentially, if he's going for around 13 to 14k, is that too much for him? Let's compare. Let's just check. So he's going for 14. I know from Footbin when I looked, Coman was one of the lowest in terms of the 86s. So let's have a look here. Is he going for 13? 13, 14. We'll pick up some Comans here at 13, I think, if we can get them. Just because I think that's quite low for an 86, especially like a French Bundesliga one. So we've only got one there, but we'll go again and look at some other ones. And then what the plan is to do is to come back at 6 p.m, see what EA released, and then have a look into some of the prices, see if any of these actually went up, and then we can sell them on for some profit. Ideally, it would be great if they could do like a massive SBC today, or an icon SBC or something like that, which is going to rise this fodder because people will want to do it, and we'll have the players in our club to be able to sell on for some profit and hopefully get over that 2 million coins mark. That's the reason I'm doing this. Obviously, I may have to wait a few days, but I just feel like it's the right thing to do. Now, I think I don't really want to go any higher than 14 on him, so I've bought a couple there at 14, unfortunately, but 87s, I'm picking up an extra 4k, and I feel like that's maybe the way to go. So I'll stay on 87, so let's go and look at Hugo Lloris as an option. Obviously a high-rated goalkeeper in the Premier League, French, so gets a lot of the links there. Can we get him for around 17 or 16 there? Can we get that one? Yeah, that's nice. So maybe, like, I'm just doing this in the video, obviously just buying all these, but if you look at these throughout the day and try and snipe a lot of them, you'll be able to probably pick some up in terms of a little bit lower than what I'm picking them up for at the moment. But we'll continue doing it until our coins are as low as they can be in terms of investments, and then hopefully, at 6 p.m. we'll actually have some nice influx of coins because people will want to do an SBC that comes out. And I feel like hasn't been really any big players recently, and I feel like it is definitely a matter of time. So if you can spot trends like that, then definitely pick these up at similar prices to what I am. Try not to go any higher because obviously the profit margins won't be as good. Even if I only make a couple of K on each of these players, it's better than nothing at the end of the day, and we can do that. So let's finish off here and let's go look at some 88s. I'm going to look at probably maybe like a Sergio Ramos. I think he might be a nice one to have a look at, or even like let's have a look. Ramos is how much is he? He's like 20. So he's a little bit high. Navas, 88. Yeah, he's within the range that I'm happy to invest in, and so we'll pick the rest of these up at around 23, 24 until all our coins go, and then we'll store them and we'll be back at 6 p.m. So I'll leave that there for now, and I'll invest the final 200k while we wait, and then we'll see how we got on at 6 p.m. And if not, then I'll obviously upload this video either way, and then you can invest in these players as well, and then when obviously a player SBC comes out, then we can all make profit together. You can thank me, and then we're all laughing and we'll have coins. That's the plan. Anyway, thanks for watching so far, and I'll be back shortly. What is going on, guys, and welcome back to obviously the investment video. I've now reached 6 p.m. and the only card that came out today was this Galeno. He actually looks quite good, but unfortunately that was the only thing that actually came out that was likely to rise the price, and unfortunately I think he was an 85 rated squad, which has the potential, but I think if it was like a Brazilian, say in the Premier League, then obviously that, he would have gone up to a lot more, but because of the league he's in, I just don't think people are really looking to get him, so it means the fodder that we bought probably isn't going up today. Plus fine, like we've got all week, and what I've done in the meantime is I've just lazy listed them and just hope that people come in. So as you know, we picked Navas up for around 24, so if we get hold of him for 27,500, then obviously there's a couple of K profit on all of them, and it all adds up eventually, doesn't it? And then obviously same with Verratti here, we did the same thing. He was a pick up for around 17k, we're listing up for 23, we've got a load of him. Same with Sancho's as well. Just a bit of a mixed bunch there. Hopefully we can get rid of a few of these, and then obviously Lloris and stuff as well. So I'm just going to lazy list them, mess around with the prices, see if we can get any buyers, and that's kind of where I'm at the moment. And then obviously there's a few other cards that we also picked up, which obviously like the Lloris and stuff like that, so he's up at a similar price. We've got loads of pages of these, and then we've got the Comans at the end, which we picked up for around 13k, listing for around 16, 17k on him. And yeah, we've just got 92 cards there, so we'll see what happens with the investments. But yeah, unfortunately, it hasn't paid off today, but who knows what will happen over the next few days. I'll give you an update then. Alright guys, and we are back, and it has been about 4 to 5 days. I think we bought the players for the investments on Tuesday. It's now Sunday, and if you didn't know, today there was a base to mid icon pack that sort of came out, and that upped some of the fodder prices. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, they weren't crazy, but I just felt, because I've been waiting on them for like 5 days, I just wanted to get out of it. I think I didn't do the best in terms of the players that I bought, but the reason why they went up was there was an 85, an 86, and an 87 rated squad. So we waited around 5 days for these players to go up, and I think approximately, I've made around between about 150k to 170k, which I'm pretty happy with. I think that's not too bad at all. As you can see here, a lot of the players that sold, and I can tell you roughly what I bought them for and what I sold them for. So there was a lot of Keylor Navases. I think I had around maybe about 10, maybe a little bit more even, but I accidentally cleared them off the trade pile list because they were the ones that sold first. What I noticed was that the 88s went flying up. So I think if I invest ever again, I'll go for 88 plus players. They seem to go up by 5, 6, 7, 8k, which is definitely something that I'll look at more often. But the more and more we invest, the more and more we'll get better and learn and test and see what goes up during different periods. But yeah, the Keylor Navases I bought for around 22 to 23k. They actually went up to 28, so I made a nice sort of 5k on each of them, which was extremely really good. The Hugo Llorises, I bought them for around, I think it was around 16 to 17k, sold them for 19k, so it's about 2k, obviously a little bit of tax, and that's probably about 1.5k on each of these, but because we bought obviously over 90, I think it was 92 or 93 fodder cards, obviously if you're making at least 1.5k on each of them, you're going to make around sort of 150 to 200k, which is, it's very good, and you're nothing to sort of sniff your nose at if you're buying a lot. But if you got lucky and this Lloris went up to 25k and you bought him for 17, then you're obviously making 7k per player, which is extremely good profit. So if you can see these sort of slightly dipping, it's definitely worth trying to pick them up. Sancho is at 20,000 coins. I believe we got him again for about 17 to 18k, so about 2k per one on him. Same with Verratti, was about the same, 17, 18k on him. So we had a lot of Sanchos and a lot of Verrattis. They were the kind of the main bulk of the players. Kind of wish I had a lot more Navases because we would have made 4 or 5k on each of them, which obviously we did on some of them, but not. We probably could have made more because I think we sold them and they were still going up slightly when we sold them. So unfortunately, we lost that maybe a little bit on him, but it wasn't too bad. Keep going along here, and I've still got 2 players left unless they've sold since the start of the video. But we also had Coleman here. Coleman, he wasn't the best, so we kind of probably broke even on him. We bought him for around 13k and we sold him for £14 and £2.50. So we maybe made a little bit on him, but barely anything. If I'm honest, probably only around sort of 200, 300 coins, which is definitely not worth it if you do like a long-term weak investment. We were on 1.7 million when we did this, literally virtually on the dot, and now we're up to 1.842, and we've still got a Verratti to sell at 19k, and we've still got Coleman to sell at 14k. So, you know, that's around like 32, 33k added on to what we got there. We're up to about 1.75 thousand coins. So you made about 175,000 coins, which, you know, for 5 days waiting, I don't think it's too bad, you know. And I was a little bit worried that they might not go up as much as I hoped, and I'd end up losing coins. But I think we sold it about the right time. Just after that SBC came out, they went up slightly on prices, and we made about I'd say on average about 2k a player, which, yeah, on average works out about 175k profit. So yeah, guys, not too bad at all. I will take that, considering there you go, there's Coleman that sold. Considering we invested for 5 days, not too bad, guys. Something I would say to you, if you are wondering how I knew that fodders and stuff was down in price, just go onto Footbin, look at a player that's like the lowest rating. So you can get this on Footbin. There's normally like a player rating system, like the lowest players, and it basically tells you the lowest prices, and you can work them out. So normally it is like a Verratti, for example, as an 87. He's one of the lowest in price. If you click on him, there's normally like a graph, and then if you see his price is down by a few K, it might be worth picking some of them up. However, at the moment, while there's SBCs out, like the icon pack, probably not best to. But you know, when there's like a big week of content, then it's definitely worth trying to invest in fodder. I would say there's probably going to be a few opportunities up until Team of the Year to do so, especially with more icons coming out. So we had lucky day today with obviously that base to mid icon pack coming out. There was also the new icons that came out, which was Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira, which also probably rose the prices slightly as well. So we had a bit of luck there. And then I think obviously the last few days there's been a few other little bits of content like Vinicius Jr. And Christian Pulisic, which maybe have also implemented some of that, then players going up in coins. But yeah, guys, hopefully it's an interesting video for you, and just a sort of a notice for you to sort of keep out what sort of prices picking up players for, and how you can make, you know, 175k in the space of 5 days by barely doing anything, just literally buying players, sitting on them for 5 days, and then reselling them on when decent content comes out. It's really, really easy, really, really lazy, obviously, but it's good for us doing the League SBC grind, because it means we didn't really have to trade this week. We just invested in a lot of players, resold them on now when the coins came out, and in between that we had around sort of 50k, which we were just playing with. We never really went down. We made profit slightly, a little bit in that. Well, I don't know if I would say profit, probably level, because we were buying a lot of cards. But yeah, we've made it all back, and now we're actually up 175k. So extremely happy with that, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day. Peace.